My name is Clara Whitmore, and I was 26 when I learned that someone can take your entire life without ever laying a hand on you. They don't need violence. They don't need force. Sometimes all they need is access and the willingness to pretend you no longer exist. I had just been discharged from the hospital after emergency surgery. I still remember how the sunlight felt too bright when I stepped out, like the world hadn't noticed anything had happened to me. My body felt unfamiliar, heavy, slow, stitched together in places that ached with every step. The short walk from the curb to my apartment door drained me more than the surgery itself. I leaned against the wall outside my door longer than I want to admit, just breathing, just trying to gather enough strength to turn the key. All I wanted, honestly, the only thing keeping me moving, was the thought of my bed, my blanket, the quiet, something that still belonged to me. When I opened the door, I didn't understand what I was looking at. For a few seconds, maybe longer, I just stood there. My brain tried to correct what my eyes were seeing. It felt like when you walk into a place and realize it's similar to yours, but not quite right. Except it was right. It was mine. And it was empty. Not messy, not disturbed, not broken into. Empty. The living room echoed when I stepped inside. My footsteps sounded wrong, too loud. The air even smelled different, like dust and something stale. My couch was gone. The small table by the window, gone. The lamp I used every night, gone. I walked further in, slower this time, like I was afraid the apartment might disappear entirely if I moved too fast. The kitchen shelves were bare. Not even the cheap plates I bought on clearance were left behind. My bedroom? Nothing. No mattress, no sheets, no clothes. Then I saw the wall. A faint, pale rectangle where my childhood photo frame used to hang. That was it. That was the moment everything inside me dropped. This wasn't a mistake. This was done. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone trying to call my mother. She answered immediately. Too quickly, like she had been waiting. I didn't ask gently. I didn't ease into it. I just said, "What did you do?" She laughed, not surprised, not confused, amused. "Clara," she said, like I was being dramatic over nothing. "You were playing independent. I just cleaned it up." I remember gripping the edge of the empty kitchen counter so hard my fingers hurt. I asked her where my things were, and she told me, casually, like she was talking about old clutter, that most of it had already been sold. My furniture, my clothes, my computer, my work equipment, everything. When I asked how she even got inside, she said they told the landlord I had died after surgery, that they needed to clear the apartment quickly because it was too painful. Too painful. I don't remember ending the call. I just remember staring at my reflection in the dark screen afterward and not recognizing the person looking back. That night, I slept on Elena's couch with one plastic hospital bag beside me. Inside it were discharge papers, a phone charger, and the clothes I had collapsed in days earlier. That was everything I owned. I kept thinking it didn't feel real, like I would wake up and be back in my apartment, annoyed at something small, normal. But morning came, and nothing changed. What hurt almost as much as losing my home was realizing what else they had taken without even thinking about it. My work. I was a freelance architectural visualizer. Everything I built, every client relationship, every deadline, every late night, lived on that computer. Files, drafts, contracts, invoices. My income wasn't just interrupted, it was erased. Within a week, clients started slipping away. Some were kind, some didn't ask questions. One stopped replying completely after I tried to explain. I couldn't blame him. If someone told me their parents had declared them dead and sold their life while they were in surgery, I don't know if I would believe it either. But it didn't stop there. A cousin texted me, "Is this really you?" That was how I found out the lie had spread. My parents hadn't just taken my belongings. They had told people I was dead. Family, neighbors, friends. There were posts, old photos of me, messages about loss, about grief, about strength. People sent food, flowers, money. They cried for me. While I sat alive in borrowed clothes, trying to figure out how to rebuild from nothing. When people started asking questions, the story changed. Suddenly I wasn't dead, I was unstable, difficult, looking for attention. It was almost impressive how quickly they adjusted. That was the point where something inside me stopped reacting and started watching. For 3 months, I rebuilt quietly. Elena gave me space, more than I ever asked for. I bought a secondhand laptop that struggled to keep up. I took whatever work I could get, even jobs I would have turned down before. But every night, I wrote things down. What they took, what they sold, what they said. The expensive things mattered, but not as much as what couldn't be replaced. My grandmother's locket, her letters, the photographs that proved I existed before they turned me into a story. That's when my anger changed. It didn't burn anymore. It settled. It focused. I stopped asking why they did it. I started figuring out how to prove it. The police couldn't help the way I needed them to. Too many technicalities, too much access given in the past. It became something slower, heavier. So I found a lawyer. He didn't interrupt me. He didn't question every detail like it was exaggerated. He just listened, then said, "They're expecting you to give up." That was enough. The case took nearly 2 years. 2 years of them trying to turn what they did into something reasonable. Concern, confusion, miscommunication. But facts don't bend the way stories do. Receipts, photos, listings, statements. Even someone who had bought my things described it as an estate cleanout. That word stayed with me. Estate. Like I had already been gone. When the judgment finally came, I didn't react the way people expect. I didn't cry. I didn't celebrate. I just read it. Then read it again. Because for the first time, something official said what I had been trying to hold on to all along. This happened, and it mattered. They appealed. They lost. And then, slowly, everything they built on that lie started to crack. I didn't confront them. I didn't argue. I just let the truth move, one document at a time. 3 years later, my phone rang early in the morning. It was my brother, crying, panicked, saying everything was falling apart. "Please," he said, "just make it stop." I listened. Then I asked him one thing. "Did you help them take my things?" He didn't answer. He didn't need to. I hung up. 4 days later, I went back to their house. It looked the same. Perfect, controlled, untouched. But I wasn't the same person who had left. And for the first time, I understood something clearly, without anger, without doubt. They didn't lose everything because I destroyed them. They lost everything because they believed I wouldn't survive what they did. And they were wrong.